Namaste, my friends, and welcome or welcome back. Today we will talk about meditation asanas or poses. These are the poses that you need to know if you're planning on performing any type of meditation or any type of pranayama. It is very also important in your hatha yoga practice or in any other yoga practice that you're doing, so that when the teacher tells you sit in the meditation pose, you know which to choose from. We will talk about the benefits and the restrictions. We will have a closer look at all of them and we will practice them together. In the end, you can share with me in the comments if you would like what are the poses that you prefer to practice in your meditation or pranayama, and maybe some tricks to make it more suitable and easy to perform. Let's start. Meditation asanas or poses are the positions of the body that allow you to sit motionless for a prolonged period of time. And in this phrase, two words are really crucial, which is motionless and prolonged. So we cannot call the meditation pose some pose that you can enter at all costs, and then everything hurts, your knees, your back, and you can hold it only for a couple seconds. Maybe it is a meditation pose, but it is not a meditation pose suitable for you. In the Sutra Patanjali, one of the most famous and important book on yoga, the asana or the pose is described as the position comfortable and stable. So as well as it is position for meditation, but still it is a position, it is an asana, it should be comfortable and stable. So whatever can help you to make this position comfortable and stable, you should use. If you have any problems with your knees or with your back, feel free to use any blankets, any pillows, anything that you have at home or in the yoga studio where you practice, in order to help you take out the tension from the muscles. The meditative poses have particular aspects that you always need to have a look at. So your back should be always straight and the rest of the body should be relaxed. When you perform meditation or pranayama, you should focus specifically on performing this meditation on pranayama. So the position, it's simply a mean in order to reach this practice, in order to perform this practice. This position shouldn't really be beautiful or like picturesque. It should be the position that you can hold and you feel comfortable in. What are the main positions? Actually, there exist 6 most important and the main positions that knowing which you can choose from and you can perform your practice. And we will start with the first one. We will go from the simple to the hard. And the first position is the Sukhasana, or the simple position. It is performed in the following way. Of course, you can perform as is written in the books, sitting in Dandasana pose like that. Then you bend your right leg, you put it under the left leg, and then you bend the left one. And try to bring your feet as close to your pelvis as possible. In the end, your shins should cross in the straight line, which if you make the line from the crown of the head till the pelvis, also the cross of your legs should be in this line. And technically, only the pinky toe should touch the ground. The rest of the toes should be lifted. And you sit like this. If you feel any discomfort or pain or you don't feel stable in this position, please feel free to put something under the pelvis or under your knees. What are the restrictions? The restrictions for the pose are any problems in the back in general. So for that you can use some pillows or blankets, or I better sit in this pose. Or for example, any problems with your knees or any problems with maybe your ankles. So if you know that these zones of the body are quite difficult to work on for you, they hurt, there is discomfort, feel free to use blankets or pillows or by all means anything. So, what are the benefits of this pose? Let's go to that. Two of the most important benefits of this pose is the calming and harmonizing effect of this pose. And also, I would say the third benefit that I like a lot is that it's the most accessible asana in the whole meditating ones. Because technically, almost everyone can try to cross the legs and maybe put the pillow under the pelvis. Important to make yourself comfortable for a prolonged period of time. The second pose that we will talk about is the Siddhasana, or the female version is Siddhayoni Asana, and we will talk about them, what is the difference, what are the benefits. So Siddhasana is performed in this way. Again, we sit in Dandasana position, and from here we bend our left leg in the knee, we put it under the right one, and as close to the pelvis as possible, once again, and the right leg, we put bend in the knee as well. Be sure that the left foot, the heel of the left foot, is on the same line as your pelvis, as your navel and the crown of the head, so like that, as close to the pelvis as possible. And the right one, you need to put your toes between the calf and the thigh, kind of like put it in the pocket like this. This is a very comfortable position if you do so, because if you simply put it like lean it there, it will fall apart, the whole position. So try to squeeze it inside there. And this pose, it's called Siddhasana. Or as well, it is called the position of the Siddhi. Siddhi from Sanskrit are extraordinary powers. And I cannot promise you that you will get extraordinary powers by sitting in this position, but at least this is how it's called. So this is Siddhasana, and this is considered the male version of the pose. The female version is simply the opposite. So your right heel is near your pelvis, and you take your left foot and you put your toes inside, between kind of inside of the pocket, between the calf and the thigh. And again, in all of the positions, the most important, back is straight. Try to put your shoulders down, stretch all the way with your crown up, being grounded with your pelvis nicely. If your knees are lifted, you can put also some pillows or yoga blocks under. What are the benefits and what are the restrictions? So the restrictions of the pose are, of course, any problems with the knees, any knee injuries. If you cannot perform that, try to or make yourself more comfortable or choose the other position. And then some problems with the back, especially in the sacral region of the back. Again, some pillows or blankets may help you. What are the benefits? Well, technically this position is one that has the most benefits ever, which are, first is it clarifies your mind. It calms you. It also cleans the effect of the bad energy. It kind of purifies the energy in your body. And another benefit, it purifies and cleans the channels, the nadi in our body, and activates the chakras. So this is maybe something that you hear for the first time, nadi and chakras. This is part of the yogic culture, and I will make videos on that. So technically, nadis are the channels in our body inside of which the energy is flowing. And the chakras are kind of the regions where these nadi are interconnected. And it cleans them, and it cleans the channels and activates the chakras, which is something that we want, trust me. So these are the amazing benefits. And feel free to use it anytime you want, and especially for practicing meditation or pranayama. Next pose that we will perform is Ardha Padmasana. And to perform that, this is the kind of tricky pose. Again, you can start performing it from Dandasana, or actually, if you already know how to perform it, you can simply start doing it in the seated position with your crossed legs. From Dandasana, we bend the right or the left knee. Here it doesn't matter which one is on top. So we bend the left leg and we put the heel close to the pelvis. And the right one, for example, and here it's extremely important not to feel any pain in the knee. So we need to bring it as close to our body, to the pelvis as possible, kind of twist it and bring our foot up. So the foot should be looking up, not like this, but straight up. And we put our foot as close to our belly as possible, this way. And I will show once again here. So the heel is near the pelvis on the same line, and the right leg, bend in the knee. But here it's important not to do this twist, this bending in your knee zone. It's important to work with the pelvis. So the moment you feel any discomfort or pain, this is not the pose for you for now. So for the one who have a nice opening in the hips, actually you can do some even movements, with your hips maybe to help you. And if you want, on my channel I have a lot of practices for the hip openers and the poses that we will use towards working towards the Padmasana or Ardha Padmasana position. So if you would like, you can check them out. And once again, we twist our foot so that it looks up and the heel looks up and as close to our belly as possible. And this is Ardha Padmasana. And you can do it with the right leg or with the left one. Both are called Ardha Padmasana. Here, many times you will have your knee, one of the knees, very high and another one is low. So in order to take away the tension and the pressure from the knee, feel free to put any pillow or any block under the knee, so that when you're sitting in this pose, there are no muscles really involved in holding it that high. And also it will simply make you feel more comfortable. This is the Ardha Padmasana. It's already a preparation for the full Padmasana position. What are the restrictions? Of course, as you might have seen, one of the restrictions are any knee injury, like severe one. Especially for people, for example, who did some surgeries, for example, on one knee or another, you can try to perform this pose only on one side. And then slowly but steadily working towards releasing the tension and the effects of the surgery or of the trauma with another leg as well. So, Ardha Padmasana pose, what are the benefits? Let's talk about that. Ardha Padmasana provides harmonizing, balancing, and leveling effect in all of the body. Another aspect that I notice myself, it is very stable pose. Thanks to the position in your legs, it helps you to keep your back straight and be in this position for longer time, well, especially if you don't feel any pain in the knee or in the back area. We go to the next position, which is Vajrasana, which is the diamond pose. And this is the first position out of the 6 that we will have a look at that is not positioned with the crossed legs. So how to perform it? Technically, you usually stand in the position, but like I prefer to start it with standing simply on your knees like that. And we put our bridge of the foot down, and from this position try to be sure that your legs better are together, your knees are together, and you simply lower your pelvis down, lower your buttocks on the heels. Here, you don't need to be exactly on the heels like that, because this is honestly even super uncomfortable position. So try to open your heels and sit between them, and then cross your toes, cross your big toes. Of course, if this position is a bit complicated for you, especially because of the knees, you can a bit spread your legs. Try to play a bit with poses. Try to find a comfortable position. So what are the benefits and restrictions? One of the restrictions, which is very important, here we really make a lot of pressure on the knees, and especially for people with the excessive weight, that may be really very harming. So what you can do in order to mitigate these harming effects, you can put some blanket between your calves and your thighs, over here, like kind of like under the knees, no, between the knees, over here. Also, you can put the blanket, if you have any pain or tension on the bridge of the foot, you can put the blanket under your feet or under your pelvis. Technically, you can put blankets anywhere you want for you to be comfortable in the position. Another restriction is for people who have the problems with the veins. If you already have problems with the flow in your veins, especially, better, or if you choose this position, not to keep it for a long time, or to change it, or to choose something else, because here the flow is restricted. Anyway, it flows, the blood flows, don't worry, but still there is some restriction. So if you have such disease, such problem, please try to avoid it. What are the great benefits? The benefits of Vajrasana, or the diamond pose, is the increase in the energy overall. It helps you to lift the energy from the lower chakras to the upper ones. So you can even use in your everyday life, when you're reading a book, when you're cooking, when you're doing technically anything. If you don't have enough energy, if you feel not motivated, this is the perfect position in order to kind of lift you up a bit. Also, this position is amazing after you just ate. If you had the big dinner and you still want to meditate a bit or breathe, this position is perfect. Also, it helps with the digestion. So if you ate too much, do this pose in order to help you digest. What it does as well, of course, as all other meditation poses, they calm and harmonize the body and the mind. And from that position, without further ado, we go to the next one, which is also the position with our legs not crossed. This is a Virasana position, or the position of the warrior. In order to perform that, we sit in our position that we just learned, this one, in Vajrasana, in the diamond pose, and we raise from here, open our feet larger than the pelvis. Now you can help yourself by bringing your calves outside, and we lower our body down between the heels. This pose, as one of the restrictions, it affects even more your knees and ankles, so there is much more pressure. If you have varicose of the veins, the same as in Vajrasana position, but a bit even stronger. Here, I would recommend not to stay for that long. This is an amazing pose as the counter pose for the hip opening, for example, when you were sitting in the split or doing any other hip opening position, even the Ardha Padmasana or Padmasana. After, you can use this one in order to balance the feelings in the body. But, if you will try to do it, there is a very big pressure on the knees. So if you have any problems with your knees, try to avoid it. Or you can also put some blanket or something, even like this, even some big blanket or big pillow under your pelvis, and sit like that. This will, of course, help you to maintain this position, and this will allow your blood to flow much easier in the veins, in the artery. What are the great benefits of this position? Let's talk about that. Virasana position, or the position of the warrior, one of the benefits that it has is the detachment. Another one is the steadiness, like a steadiness of the warrior. It also has the harmonizing effect on the nervous system as well, and the calming effect on our mind. And also it develops the perseverance. The last pose in this video that we will talk about is the king or the queen of the poses, one of the, or maybe the most important pose in yoga that everyone is trying to reach, is the Padmasana or the lotus pose. First of all, I would like to tell that this position, it's not something that you should try to enter at all costs. People work towards this position for months or even years. Many believe that it depends on your karma, what you did in your past lives, actually shows in the position of Padmasana, if you can perform it or not, and how you can perform it. But to believe that or not, I don't know. But the most important that I believe and I feel in my practice that this is really the pose that gives you the most quantity of the benefits for any practice of yoga that you do, for any practice of pranayama meditation that you do. Let's first have a look how to perform it. Once again, we will start with the Dandasana position. Here we bend the right or left leg, doesn't matter for now. We bring it close to the pelvis. And another one we put in Ardha Padmasana that we had a look before. So the foot is looking up and the opening is only, the twisting is only in the hip, in the pelvis area. Now you try to take your left foot, try to lift it. Be sure that there are no feelings of pain in the knee. This is crucial. We lift it slightly and we try to kind of slide it on our thigh, on our right thigh, and put it as close to the belly as possible. Once again, so both of the feet, they're directed upwards, they're looking up, and both of the heels, they should touch our belly. As well, in this position, almost always one knee is higher than the other, or maybe even two knees, usually one. You can put some blanket or the pillow, once again, under. This pose, if you can, you should try to practice every day, any time of the day. When you have time, you can try to sit in this position. If you already have it, of course. Better to use some lessons, some practices that help you open the pelvis and help you to enter in this position with your body warmed up slowly and steadily. So that position is the most important. Let me show you what can be kind of like mistakes or which problems you may have. So for example, if your hips are not open enough or simply your calves are quite big, it will be a situation when your toes are kind of leaning on your thighs, but kind of like they're not really touching the belly. What it means? It means that in general, you can already perform this position. Most probably it won't be very comfortable for you for the meditation purposes. But another thing that you will have problems here, that your bridge of the foot over here, your foot, will start really hurting. And this is the horrible feeling that usually people are not able to sustain for a long time. Be careful with that anyway. Work towards this pose once again. This is an amazing position. And we will talk about the restrictions. Restrictions are, as always, knee injuries in all of the meditation positions. Injuries with your back, again, the same, especially sacral zone. You can put the pillow under. But here we can also talk about some problems or injuries again, or some surgeries that you did maybe on your toes, on your feet, especially these, like the arc of the foot or the bridge of the foot, like everything that is connected with the technically legs and the back. Be careful. If you feel like trying to do it, to perform it, go ahead. If not, better to choose another position. So what are the benefits? Padmasana pose. Padmasana pose. activates and balances the energy in our body and the chakras in our body. But the most important, actually, that maybe many doesn't know, that due to the specific structure in our legs, in our heels, this pose blocks the flow of the energy and turns it right. So the way energy flows in our body, it flows up and down. For the purposes of the meditation and pranayama, we want to direct all of the energy upwards and bringing to the upper centers of our spiritual body, let's say. And technically only this pose, only Padmasana, blocks kind of completely the flow of the energy down. So the energy is not like going through you, it's making a round and going up. It will help you to reach your target, to reach your goal in meditation or pranayama much faster. But then, of course, at which costs? Let me kind of like sum up and explain to you how to choose the position. If you're practicing, if you want to do pranayama or meditation for 1 minute, for 5 minutes, you can try to choose the pose that you don't really feel super comfortable in, but like at least to try it, you know, to have a better effects. If you're doing the meditation of pranayama for 1 hour, it's extremely important that you choose the position that you can hold for 1 hour without changing it. So don't go into Padmasana if your Padmasana is not very stable, you don't feel super comfortable in. Choose any other position. The most important is not to try to compete with yourself, not to try to prove yourself that you can do it. You will be able to do everything, but it's essential not to hurt yourself, not to cause any injuries, because if you will hurt your knee, this will bring you backwards in your practice, weeks or maybe months. You don't want that. Yoga is all about being something that I don't have the quality that I'm really working on. It's patience. In yoga, you need to be patient. You will get, absolutely, I promise you, you will get where you want to go, but this will take time. Don't try to rush it. Don't try to speed up the process and get there faster. Enjoy the process. So we had a look at 6 meditation poses or asanas, which are suitable for meditation pranayama. You need to know that you can use the position of your hands in any way that you want, in any way that you prefer to practice. You can put your hands in Namaste position. You can put your hands on the knees, palms down, and put them in Jnani Mudra, for example, or even put one hand on top of another, put it in Dhyani Mudra, or any other mudra that you're practicing or you would like to try. If you're practicing meditation and you're counting, for example, the mantra, how many times, you can use with the left hand, usually it's done, the mala or the kind of like the beans, you know, to count. And technically any other mudra or any other positions of the hands. Crucial, back is straight. To sum up and to kind of leave you with something else, you know, before you practice, I would like to say that yes, we had a look at 6 positions, but it is possible that none of these positions is suitable for you, that for some reason you cannot perform any of it. You can actually do your meditation or pranayama technique in any position that you can. You can sit on the chair. Important, straight back. This, I encourage you, better not to use the wall or the back of the chair, you know, to lean on, because anyway, you still want to work with the muscles of your back. You want to be strong and capable. So try not to lean. Of course, if you're doing the practice for 1 hour, 2 hours, you can afford yourself maybe to lean a bit. Nevertheless, any position, don't use it as an excuse not to perform this practice, not to practice meditation pranayama. I encourage you to implement these poses and to use them in your everyday life to get the benefits that we talked about and in your practice of meditation and pranayama. Please share with me if it was useful. I hope so. I hope my sharing will be useful for you. And I wish you an incredible practice of meditation and pranayama and enlightenment. Namaste.